Welcome to the Ingleside Public Library's virtual Sleep Tight Story Time. Tonight's book will be At the Old Haunted House. Let's begin. At the old haunted house in a room with no sun lived a warty green witch and her wee witchy one. "Spell!" cried the witch. "Poof!" cried the one. And they both practiced spells in the room with no sun. At the old haunted house where a cold draft blew lived a big monster and her wee monster too. "Stir!" called the ma. "We stir!" cried the two. And they whirred and they stirred while the cold draft blew. By the old haunted house in the dead hollow tree lived a scrawny black cat and her wee kittens 3. "Scratch!" cried the mother. "Meow!" cried the 3, and they scratched and they growled in the dead hollow tree. At the old haunted house with the squeaky old floor lived a green paw goblin and his wee goblins 4. "Dust!" called the paw. "We dust!" said the 4, and they spread lots of dust on the squeaky old floor. At the old haunted house where scary things jive lived a mall werewolf and her wee wolves 5. "Howl!" cried the mom. "Aroo!" cried the 5. And they yelled and they howled where the scary things jive. In the old haunted house, in a vault made of bricks, lived a paw vampire and his little vamp 6. "Show fangs!" paw cried. Went the 6, and they snarled and they shrieked in the vault made of bricks. At the old haunted house teaching a lesson was a hairy mom bat and her bitty bats 7. "Dip dive!" cried the mom. "Flip flop!" went the 7, and they dipped and they dove in their dipped diving lesson. By the old haunted house near the graveyard gate lived a spooky dad ghost and his wee ghosty 8. "Haunt!" cried the dad. "Boo!" cried the 8, and they booed and they floated through the graveyard gate. At the old haunted house, half covered with vines, lived a mummy mommy and her wee mummies 9. "Mix!" called Mommy. "We mix!" called the 9, and they stirred and they mixed in the house with the vines. At the old haunted house in a dusty old den lived a fat ma spider and her wee spiders 10. "Spin!" called the ma. "Weave ho!" said the 10, and they spun sticky webs in the dusty old den. At the old haunted house, the floor door creaked. "Trick or treat!" yelled the children. The ghosts shrieked, "Eek!" "Come in!" called Mummy. The monsters made stew. The mummies made cake. The witches zapped brew. The creatures all grinned as they struck up the band, and the spiders all swung on sticky web strands. The ghosts floated as the music played, black cats scratched and the werewolves bayed. The vampire band played music all night, and they all had fun at the Halloween fright. The end. That was a cute little monster book. I hope you enjoyed. Now good night and sleep tight.